Okay. All right. Thank you, everybody, for coming today. Today, we're going to do a little bit different. Jody is running the slideshow, and then the deep dive that we had planned to have today on the three brains and how they work together that we have. Actually, we're going to have that a different day because my computer with all of the presentations, with everything, it's dead. My computer is dead. So we're just gonna go from here, and we're gonna do the best that we can with. So anyway, Jody, if you would like to actually share screen on the presentation, that would be great. All right, so today we're going to be talking about some patches that actually help our body with cellular regeneration. They help our body to signal our body to actually repair and regenerate our cells. Next slide, please. And as our body regenerates, so these are a wearable light technology. Our body is the actual power source. What it is it's a lattice work of crystals that reflects back our body's own light heat signature in a certain wavelength that signals the body to do different things. The one here on the screen, X39, actually signals the body to create GHK, copper peptide, which then regenerates our body's own pluripotent stem cells and helps regenerate our body. Next slide, please. So Albert Einstein and Thomas Edison, we know them for all kinds of inventions that they did and that we actually utilize now today. And they kind of were ahead of their time at that point, and they predicted that the future of medicine is frequency, and in the future that we would be focusing on prevention of disease as opposed to giving pills and following up with disease. Next slide, please. So we actually use infrared light in a multiple different medical and different ways in our society, with infrared saunas, with red light therapy. We use laser for surgery, and light is able to be utilized in multiple different ways, including with these patches. Next slide, please. So we are not medical professionals. We are not here to diagnose, treat, or tell you about any medical conditions. We actually might we're going to have a testimonial, and we might tell you our experience, but please consult your doctor for any medical treatment. And so as we age, our body actually puts our stem cells into hibernation, our repair cells into hibernation. And by the time we are 35, 50% of our repair cells have gone into hibernations. And by the time we're 60, 90% have gone into hibernation. And this is why we age. And it's why it's harder to heal as we age. Next slide, please. So there are multiple different ways of that they are coming out with to actually have stem cell therapy. And one of them is to get injections. Generally, this is somebody else's stem cells. And you have to go outside of the US in order to get them. From what I understand, they're quite expensive. They're anywhere from $3,000 to $50,000 per treatment. And because they're somebody else's stem cells, they're not always effective. And you're not sure whether they're going to work or not. Here in the US, they have a treatment called PRP, which is where they take your blood and spin it and then put it back in, but it's not actual stem cells that they're putting back in. So from my perspective, the best way to actually have your body have excess repair cells so that it can start repairing and working to its optimum is to actually wear the patches. Next slide, please. So the patches are a patented phototherapy. They are body heat activated. They reflect back a wavelength of infrared light. The placements are based on acupressure and acupuncture points and work on the meridians of the body, moving our energy and our flow. Next slide, please. So how do we wear these patches? Well, we place them on different parts in our body. We wear them 12 hours on, 12 hours off. We need to make sure that we're drinking enough water. Water counts as water, and then non-caffeinated herbal tea can go in that water quotient as well. And we need to drink half of our body weight in ounces of water per day. That's what's recommended. And then if we drink other things, we add to that. Next slide, please. So this is the only wellness product that uses the human body as a power source. And I think it's quite amazing. Our inventor is, such a genius and figured out this technology and continues to figure out multiple new technologies. He's actually now got over 200 patents, which is just amazing and mind-boggling to me. Next slide, please. So when you activate your own repair cells with these patches, you can experience pain relief, reduced inflammation, faster wound healing, more energy, better sleep, better skin appearance, your mental clarity. You'll have more clarity of thought. You will actually be able to perform better at different sports, have faster recovery, and also they will start to reverse age you. They don't have any side effects. They do not interact with any drugs because they are considered a wellness product. They are non-transdermal and nothing is going into your body. And like I said, there's over now 200 patents. This is an old slideshow because we were just flying by the seat of our pants. So anyway, next slide, please. So this is where we're going to actually have Sandra come on. And if you could stop sharing for a minute. And Sandra, if you can unmute and actually, or Sandy, can you actually unmute and tell us your testimonial, please? Hi, thank you, Sandy. You're still muted.
Did that work?
That's good.
Perfect. Perfect. Hi.
Hi.
Happy Tuesday.
Thank you.
I'm Sandy, and
we're having a little bit of hard time hearing you. Is there a way to turn up your volume, or
don't know.
Is it closer to the microphone?
Can you hear me that now better?
A little bit better.
Oh, I don't know.
But we can't really see you.
Well, I
can hear her fine, hon.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, is that better?
Yep, that's better.
Okay, so I started my patches, which I love, like the end of December of this year. And I was fortunate enough in my lifetime to have Veronique as my neighbor. And then we moved, but we still keep in touch. And she said, you've got to try these wonderful little patches. And just like everybody else, I went, oh, I will. And then life takes a hold. But anyway, I saw what they were doing with her and how wonderful she looked and sounded. And I thought, okay, I've in desperate need to get myself back into some kind of knowing who I was again. As we get older, we know the young us because we've been there. It's the old us that we're like, who are you? And what have you done with my mind and my body? But anyway, so I started them in the end of December. And I noticed right off the bat they worked for me. Some people don't have that situation, but I did. I noticed right off the bat with some scar tissue that I had 2 C-sections like 35 years ago, and my appendix out when I was 18, and I am 62 now. And the scar never healed, believe it or not. And I would go to many doctors, and they would be like, we just don't know what's going on. And it was just an odd thing. Well, gosh, it was embarrassing, and it was painful. And at times I couldn't go anywhere because it was open. I can't even, people can't even imagine, but it was an open wound. And so um, after a few days, I had like just crazy, when things start to heal, they itch. And I was like, what is going on down there? I thought I was having an allergic reaction to these patches, but I wasn't. I was not. My body was going into healing. And those little things were in there just knitting me up because I have not had that problem since then. And my one doctor looked at it and she goes, well, what did you do? And I said, I'm wearing these patches. I said, and I think they make my stem cells come back to life and it's healing me. So she was just floored. She just thought that was incredible. So that in itself was a miracle for me. About a month after that, I was a massage practitioner for over 20 years. And my hands and my back were always sore and stiff. I could tell you when it was going to rain. And after about a month, those pains went away, those dull aches. I mean, the ones that you just think, what, I got to do something. You can't think of other things other than the pain that you're having. And so those went, they were probably an 8 to a 12 on the pain scale when they were doing their thing. But like I said, after that first month, they're probably maybe 0 to 2. And I can handle that. I've had a gastric bypass, and there's certain pain meds you can't take, certain things you can't do because your stomach has been cut up and smaller and everything irritates your stomach. So these patches are just a lifesaver for me. I also had a neuropathy in my feet and in my legs. And I noticed after the first maybe 3 weeks or so with my patches that that pain was down to like 0 to a 2 also, because I couldn't sleep. I would wake up with that jerk thing going on with my feet and my legs, and I don't have that anymore. It's just awesome. Let's see what else happened. Oh, this is the major thing, and I haven't even told Veronique this. But I have been on insulins for, they told me I had diabetes, but another doctor said I just have high metals poisoning from vaccines and things. So anyway, uh, I have had the insulin not work. So I could take, one time I said to my doctor who was not listening to me, I could take this whole pen, flex pen, and inject it and it's not going to affect me. And he was like, well, you just get it to where it does affect you. And I thought, no, you're not listening. I can't do this to myself. And then I told them, I said, what happens when it does work? I'll be passed out somewhere with too much insulin in my body. I'm going to tell you something. About 2 weeks ago, I started reacting to my insulin. I know that doesn't sound like much, but it's a miracle. It's a miracle. I can take insulin because if I know I'm going to eat something that's not good for me, but I want it, and it works. It works now. So it's a miracle. Anyway, I love these patches. So that's one other thing. Oh, the skin around my neck. It always bugs me. I feel like Murphy Brown. Remember she wore the scarves? Anyway, so my neck is getting tighter, more taut, and less chickeny, wrinkly kind of a thing going on. But another cool thing, this is like my last for me, but I'll talk about my dog and my daughter. But anyway, in my 3rd month of taking the patches, using those patches, and I use a bunch of them now too because I just love them. But I went to the dentist. Now, I've got 63-year-old teeth or whatever, and the dentist is always watching the numbers, see where your pockets are in your teeth. And so he doesn't like me anyway because I said no more fluoride. But anyway, so he said to me, "Oh, well, are you brushing your teeth morning, noon, and night?" I said, "No, I brush once a day." He goes, "Oh, don't tell people that." I said, "Okay, well, God puts the stuff in our mouths that comes from our bodies to protect our teeth." And I said, "So I don't need your fluoride anymore." But he said, "Well, no, it's your teeth were like at a 2, 3, and now they're at 1 and a 2. What are you doing?" I said, uh, "I've been doing the same thing. I brush once a day." He goes, "Oh, shh." And I said, "Oh, my patches." And he goes, "Patches?" I said, "Yes, I take LifeWave patches and I put them on my," I'm trying to show him my patch. And he's like, "Oh, okay, I've never heard of those." And I said, "That's the only thing different." I said, "They're healing my mouth now." I said, "This is so cool." And he just stared at me like I was from Mars. But that's okay because he heard what I said. And so did the hygienist who wrote it all down. So, woohoo! It was all good. Anyway. So that's enough on me. But I have a dog. I have a huge St. Bernard. He's like 8. And St. Bernards don't live a long time because they get so arthritic because they're such big dogs. Well, I've been putting the light, what is the pain patch? I can't remember. What is it?
Ice wave.
Ice wave on his hips. And if I can get it just perfect, he pants because he's in pain. Dogs pant when they're not doing well. And so he would pant all through the night, just drive us crazy. The minute I can get those on there, within seconds, I'll put those patches, one on one side, one on the other. If I get it perfect, he stops panting within seconds and will sleep all through the night. It's amazing. I just, yeah, he's my boy. I'm telling you, I ordered the horse ones because he's so big. He weighs 160 pounds. And I thought, well, I'll try these on him. So we're still, the verdict's still out because I can't find the right spot to put them, but I will. And then my daughter, I have a daughter who, when she was little, her legs got infected. She had like a sebaceous cyst acne that her dad had it too. But anyway, it would make like acne so deep and it would like fester and she'd have to get them packed with gauzing and get shots in her tummy. It was just terrible. Anyway, so she has scars that are so deep. And now that she's older, she's 33, the doctor said she'll have them forever and they're going to clog up her legs. So if she doesn't keep walking and moving and doing stuff, she gets like a blood poisoning, like a cellulitis type of stagnation in her legs. It can cause amputation. It can cause cause death. And so I patched her up with the X39 and now we use other stuff too, the glutathione and stuff for she gets almost every patch because I want this to heal on her. And I've noticed, and so has her dad, that oh my gosh, those scars are getting softer and pliable where I can kind of move them around. Before they were so hard, they just felt like little chunks of cement in her legs. But now they're starting to soften up. And again, it's a miracle. And so we're very, very happy about how that's coming along because, it's been 3 months and they're moving. I'll take that over her whole life. Nothing has happened, it just got worse. So this is very good. I love those patches.
That is so awesome, Sandy. Thank you so much for sharing. And do you use your leftover patches like after you've used them on your Bernard as well?
I do not. I know I've watched shows and read things where they do that, but when I peel them off, I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
I just
Well,
yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, the X39 and the Eon would be good for him as far
Okay.
as his hips, because that'll actually the ice wave takes the pain away, but
Yep.
it doesn't actually do any healing.
Oh,
So
goodness. Okay.
the
X39.
X39 and the Eon will actually
Okay.
take away the inflammation and then also help with the repair.
Cool. Okay. Okay. He knows what's going to happen tonight.
Yeah. And what I've done in the past is I'll just tape them to a collar. Like I'll take
Yes.
the on the inside of the collar,
Yes. Because
and
otherwise I
then
find
I'll
him all
take the
over the
collar on
house.
and off. Go ahead.
Nice.
Sorry.
Okay. No, no, that's good.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yep. So anyway, thank you so much. That's awesome. So you have less pain, less neuropathy,
Yes.
better gums and teeth.
Yep.
Um,
And I'm able to use insulin and have it work.
that's awesome.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Amazing. It's amazing.
And your scars have healed.
Yes. Yes.
That's amazing.
It's incredible.
So
Incredible.
amazing. Thank
Yep.
you so much for sharing, Sandy,
Well,
and
you're
hopefully maybe you can
welcome.
come back and give us an update in the future.
Oh, I would love to. I would love to.
Okay. Thank
Thank
you so
you.
much.
Uh-huh.
All right. Jody, can you start sharing the slideshow again? Thank you, Jody. So next slide, please. Okay, so we actually have a health tracker that I believe Jody has put in the chat. And we highly recommend that you actually fill it out prior to starting your patches, and also take pictures of your body, because what ends up happening is as humans, we forget. And we'll start taking and using the patches for one reason, and there will be multiple other things that will happen, and we won't remember or realize that they've happened and changed. I actually was at a party and there was a lady who was telling me that she'd been using them for 9 months and hadn't had any changes. And then a friend of hers said, but weren't you able to get off your blood pressure medicine the first month? And she's like, oh yeah, I forgot. So I mean, and I know that Tracy, our friend Tracy, who normally is on here with us, but she's on vacation, she actually ended up having a bunion heal and didn't even realize it had healed, and multiple other things. And so I just highly recommend that you fill out the health tracker as soon as possible. If you've already started using the patches, then fill it out and try to remember back as far as you can. Write down also any medications, any physical ailments, and then also rate all of the different aspects on there, like your sleep and different things, because it is invaluable. So these patches used to actually be marketed towards athletic performance and recovery. The first patches that came out were the energy enhancer patches, and they were actually made for the armed forces to help with, the Navy SEALs who were having to use stimulants and sometimes amphetamines and having to be discharged because of that, in order to actually keep up with what they needed to do and stay awake in areas without light, in submarines, different things. And so David Schmidt created them because he was asked to by the armed forces after he had done an alternative source for their submarine energy. And then 9/11 happened, and it turned to athletes with the swim coach at Stanford. And he did a test on it and actually found out that 14 out of 15 of his athletes on the swim team, his women athletes, actually had personal bests, and one of them did a world record. And so then it came out to different athletes. Michael Phelps wore them in the Olympics when he won all those golds. I think it was 2006 or 8. And then David Beckham has worn them, Serena Williams, and Venus Williams. And multiple other athletes, known athletes. Tom Brady attributes being able to go so long in the NFL to the use of these patches. And then now, after the X39, the cellular regeneration patch came out, now it's geared more towards everybody because we all need our cells to regenerate and we all want to have more quality and quantity of life. Next slide, please. So what to expect? What do you expect whenever you're using these? Within the first 24 to 48 hours, a third of your genes will reset to a younger, healthy state. Within 1 to 3 months, you will see physical, mental, emotional changes. Within 3 to 6 months, you'll start to see regeneration and repair happen. And then within 6 to 12 months, the reverse aging process will begin. Next slide, please. So there is a website, www.startx39now.com, that I highly recommend everybody go and peruse and look through. It has a plethora of information on it. There is so much on there. Our friend Marcy actually has created it and she keeps it up, and there's just so many different things on it. Next slide, please. Including science and how GHK helps, copper peptide helps with age reversal, and also with healing and multiple different other things. It talks about the patents, it talks about the science of the patches, it talks about testimonials, there's also pictures and all kinds of stuff. Next slide, please. GHK is great for lung protection. It is great for all kinds of things. Next slide, please. It helps with fast growing cells. It helps to repair and regenerate. It also helps with apoptosis. Next slide, please. It also helps with genes that have precursors to fast growing cells. It helps reset the epigenetics of those back to where they are not as apt to have that appear. There was a study that was done on cardiovascular health, and they did cardiovascular biomarkers. And after 6 weeks of wearing the patches, what they found when they did tested the biomarkers again was that the age of the recipients reversed by 8 weeks. So it was 6 weeks and their age was 8 weeks younger. Next slide, please. So the patches are actually reverse aging. I mean, they're literally reverse aging us. There was another study that was done on brain health, and you can see this is a 77-year-old woman who had some cognitive decline. In the first session, on session 1, you can see where it's an inflamed brain. The red signifies that it's an inflamed brain. And then 3 weeks later, session 2 happened. And you can see that her brain had cooled down considerably, but it's actually too cool now and it's not balanced. And then when you look at session 3, you can see what a balanced brain actually looks like and how our brains are supposed to operate in optimum functioning. Next slide. Let's look at some things as far as other people. This is somebody who had a snowboarding accident and had an interview 3 days later. And the pictures, excuse me, show from day 1 to day 5, his healing, accelerated healing. This bottom one is somebody who had open heart surgery. And I think it's really interesting because it's a year between the first slide and the second slide. And that is actually a year of healing without patches. And then 1 month later, after the patches had been utilized, it actually, the scar regeneration happened where it's fading quite a bit. Next slide, please. This is our friend, John Harmon. He actually was a slow responder to the patches, but he had magnificent results. You can look at this picture of him at the beginning, and this is him 18 months later. And he actually, you can see the reverse aging in him, but he also had a right branch blockage of his artery of his heart that cleared with, I believe it was 9 months later after beginning patch use. This is a lady who looks like a grandma and then ends up looking like a teenager. Next slide, please. This is looking at turkey neck. This is a scar remodeling, a birthmark remodeling where he had a birthmark, and then look at how faded it ended up. That's quite amazing to me. This is varicose veins and how patching can help that. Next slide, please. I experienced better sleep. When I first started using the patches, I needed 9 or 10 hours of sleep, and then I still was tired a lot throughout the day and didn't have a lot of energy. And then I would wake up after using the patches after 7 hours without an alarm and be ready to go and be energized all day. And I know a lot of other people that have had significant benefits with sleep with the patches. Next slide, please. So it also can help with hormone regulation. This is a gentleman who has experienced some hair regrowth, and it was just a little month and a half that it happened. Another person had acne. This is an interesting thing with the bulging discs because it actually helps regenerate cartilage in the body. And this is 18 months difference here. And you can see on the x-rays here, the regeneration of the cartilage. This person had curvature of the spine, and this is 4 weeks later. You can see the difference with it being relaxed. Next slide, please. This is our friend Marcy. She had fast growing cells, 3 types of fast growing cells: lymph, skin, and breast. And she was told that the skin one by her oncologist was going to be the one that killed her. And you can see how she progressed, and she was given 10 patches. And she said after the first couple of days, she felt the chemo coming out of her mouth, the metal from the chemo coming out of her mouth. And then by day 10, she actually had the will to live again. Next slide, please. This is someone who actually had radiation treatments, and this is the progression within a few weeks of healing for this person using the patches. Next slide, please. There she is. These can be used on on animals. This is our friend Terry's dog Brutus here, at this black dog. And Brutus was essentially blind and not able to function and walk around the house, and he was pretty much on his dog bed. And our friend Terry actually started using her used patches on Brutus, and this is a week later. You can see the milky white eyes, and then they've cleared up, and he's attentive. He started following Terry around the house, and she was, bawling because she's like, her dog was doing so much better. And then it can be used on multiple other different animals. I've used it on my cat. You can use it on horses and different things. Next slide, please. There's different patch combinations that you can do. Next slide. You can do facelifts with the patches, décolletage. Next slide, please. This is something I want to spend a minute on. So this is the gut regeneration system that you can utilize with the patches. And it is actually something that I recommend pretty much everybody do. After they initially start the patches with X39 and Eon, that's the combination that we recommend, because inflammation in the body will actually eat stem cells, and the Eon helps actually reduce the inflammation, and the X39 actually then can go in and repair. The gut regeneration system, what it does is it actually lowers the inflammation in the body. It helps to detox the gut. It helps to balance the hormones, and it helps to help with addictions and cravings that we have and controlling them. And every 28 days, we get a new gut. And so, because the cells of our body are always continually renewing, and the gut is the fastest, where it's 28 days. So I highly recommend that people do this after they've started, a couple weeks to 10 days to 2 weeks after they've started, depending on whether their body is having any detoxing effects or not. to do the gut regeneration system, because what it does is it literally resets the body so that you're able to actually take the nutrients that you're putting in your body, be it via its supplement or food or however, and actually your body can actually absorb those to actually use them to make new cells, because we need the building blocks in our body to actually create new cells, and we need to have vitamins and minerals, and we also need to have water. And so that's why those two things are super important. And that's one of the reasons why I highly recommend that everybody do the gut regeneration system, because it allows your patches to actually work and function so much better, and you get more for your money. Next slide, please. You actually can utilize these to regrow cartilage. This is a slide showing different things, components, and ways that you can do that. Next slide, please. Let's talk about the different products now and how you can get these. Next slide. So there's two different X patches. The X39 is the one that actually signals your body to create GHK copper peptide. And it's the primary one that we have been talking about tonight. And it helps with repair, it helps with energy, it helps with vitality, it helps with sleep, it helps with all kinds of things. It's what gave me back my brain actually after a traumatic brain injury and over 5 years not being able to do a lot of things. And so that is the flagship and the one that I recommend everybody actually utilize. And then you can add other patches to that, as we've talked about. First thing is to actually start with the X39. The X49 actually helps with quicker recovery and with exercise. It helps with bone density. It helps with EMF protection, and changing fat to muscle faster. Next slide, please. Here's some of the supportive patches. The Eon that we talked about for the inflammation, that one, and the X39 are the two that I recommend everybody start with to lower the inflammation in their body, and then also for repair cells to be able to be made to actually start repairing. Carnosine is my absolute favorite patch because it gave me such clarity of thought, and my brain fired so fast after I started using it. It's great for organ function and brain, and it also protects your telomeres. Ice Wave helps with pain. Glutathione helps detox the body, and is a great antioxidant and helps with immunity. Next slide, please. Energy enhancer, we talked about that. That was the first patch that was created. It's a 2-patch system, and it actually turns fat into energy and burns an extra 300 to 600 calories when you wear them. SP6 is part of the gut regeneration challenge, and it helps with hormone balance. It helps reduce addictions and cravings. Silent Night helps your body, when used consistently, to produce more of its own melatonin. Next slide, please. The supportive patches can be purchased for $79.95 for a 30-day supply, or what we actually recommend everybody do is buy a wholesale pack. And when you do that, they're $49.95, or if you buy 3 or more. Next slide, please. The Alavito Trio, that's something else that they have. The Alavita is actually great for collagen production, which you need that for joint repair. It's part of the actual cartilage rebuilding system, and helps. There's a day and a night cream to put on the skin, so you're going from the outside in and the inside out. And it also elongates telomeres, helps reduce oxidative stress, and it's just an amazing system that helps so many different things. Next slide, please. So in order to maximize your patch benefits, wear them 12 hours on, 12 hours off, drink lots of water, eat good foods, take bioavailable vitamins and minerals that our bodies need, get exercise and rest. Next slide, please. This is how you purchase the patches. You can purchase the X patches for $149.95 for a 30-day supply, or like I said, we like to help people with wholesale packs, and then they're $99.95. So that's what our recommendation is most of the time. There is a 30-day money back guarantee, so it's no risk when you first actually purchase them. This is an actual old presentation, and this is a wrong slide. They've changed these packages. It's now core. Just had a mind blank, but anyway, it's $295 now for the first set, and $535, and then 17 something. But and you get a different amount now with the other packages. But these are the wholesale kits. The first one, the core kit, or whatever you want to call it at the moment, it actually is the one that we recommend for individuals, and it's mix and match. All of them are mix and match. The next one we recommend for couples, and the third one we recommend for families, or for if you are a provider, esthetician, medical person who wants to actually utilize these for your clients. Next slide. We also recommend that people get on a monthly subscription, because consistency is what actually helps to heal, helps with repair and regeneration and reverse aging. If you are ready to purchase, please stay on and ask questions if you have them at the end. We'll have a question answer session. And then also get back to the person who referred you here. If you have other questions, you can talk to Cami, Tracy, or I, and we're happy to help. Yeah, next slide, please. So the company is not actually able to actually say what these can do for our bodies, because of them being a wellness product under the FDA. And so they ask us to actually give our testimonies and share with people how we've experienced them and what they can do for our bodies. And they give us a thank you check for that. And I'm just super grateful. I feel like it's a social responsibility that I have to share with other people, after it fixed my brain after 5.5 years of having sensory overwhelm and not being able to drive or look at electronics bigger than my phone or work. These gave me back my life, and I'm so grateful, and I feel compelled to share them with other people, or I feel guilty if I don't, because they need them. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Okay, so there's multiple different podcasts that you can see. They're on that website, www.startx39.com. Next slide, please. And you can look at them there. Next slide, please. It's an old slideshow. My apologies. So we actually every Monday and Tuesday night now have a meeting, and it's at 6 p.m., not 6:30 p.m., that you can invite these people to these Zoom shared educational information broadcasts. And it's at 6 o'clock. Monday night and Tuesday night. Monday night is just the intro. Normally Tuesday night is the intro and the deep dive. Tonight we're going to do a little bit different because we actually had technical difficulties. So anyway, so we figured out what we want to be when we get older, and that is younger. Next. Okay, so we are not actually going to have the deep dive on autoimmune. This was an old slide deck that we used. So what we're actually going to do is I'm going to talk for a few minutes about the three brains. And that was originally what our session was going to be on, but I don't have computer capability and ability to do the slideshow with you all. So what I'm going to just say is give you a little teaser. We actually, when we are incepted, we are incepted with 4 primordial cells and 1 energetic cell. And when they come together, when the sperm and the the egg come together, that energetic cell sparks and creates the life with all 5 cells. And we have our mind, okay, actually controls our brain. Okay, so our mind slash soul slash that primordial or that energetic cell, okay, whatever you want to call it, emits a frequency. Our heart, brain, actually emits a vibration, and our gut brain actually is our energy. Okay, so and when all 3 are actually in harmony, it creates our base resonant frequency, and each of us have our own unique base resonant frequency. So I was looking up some statistics, and 90% of our communication from our heart actually flows from our heart to our brain, not the opposite way. And so it's interesting because we don't think of our heart as a brain, but it actually is, and it's controlling multiple different areas. It comes, the communication primarily goes through our vagus nerve and communicates emotions. It communicates feelings. It communicates how our heart is functioning. We actually, talk about heartache. We talk about all kinds of different emotional aspects with our heart. And that's actually true because it is a brain, and it actually is having those things happening when we have like different things. And our gut also has, creates actually more of our hormones than we originally thought. It creates more than our brain actually does for our feel-good hormones. It creates all kinds of different things, and we're going to go into that hopefully next week. We'll see. And we'll get back to you as far as how all of those are connected, how that creates your base resonant frequency, and how your 3 brains work together and function together to actually set your body into homeostasis. Yes, Jody, I would like to play the video. So anyway, that's just a little teaser on what's to come. And letting you know, we're going to look at it from some different perspectives as far as how our body gets into that base resonant frequency and stays in that homeostasis. And, we need to listen to our gut because our gut actually tells us things. We need to listen to our heart because it actually tells us things. And we also need our mind to control our brain because our mind actually can change those brain patterns of behavior that we have if we choose to do that. Jody, do you have the video that you can start sharing? Okay, let's see here. I think I might have it. So let me see if I can share screen. Okay. And then I'm going to see if I can find the right one. So
I have it, Joy.
Oh, you have it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Give me a sec here. Sorry.
Okay, that's okay. No,
All
I'll
right.
stop sharing then.
Okay.
We tried this earlier with me sharing, and then it left somebody else's picture up on the screen at the same time. So then we decided Jody needed to share instead of me with my iPhone. So anyway,
all right,
here we go.
And we're up.
Okay, awesome. So I'm just gonna let you watch this video, and it talks more about the patches, specifically the X4039 patch. And then when we're done with the video, we'll actually have a question and answer session. So please stay on for that, and we'll see you in a few minutes. Thanks, Jody.
Mhm.
We have no sound.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Let me go.
That's okay. All right, let's open up the question and answer session while we're working on trying to figure out the sound on the video. Does anybody have any questions? You have any questions and you want to put them in the chat? Or unmute yourself so that you can. Anybody have any questions? No, no questions. Okay.
I'm
Well,
not getting the audio. Let's see.
how about if we do this? I know that there's something you have to do on Zoom, and I'm not quite sure what it is to actually play the video. There's a couple of to get the sound.
Here we go.
It's pretty rough sometimes. There. And when you start to understand cellular decline from even just 50, this is just for educational purposes.
Do you have it now?
I am a brand partner
Yes.
of LifeWave. And so I'm just going to share with you some very fun, easy to follow and understand slide presentation here. So it's like to be a kid again. I always think when I see kids run and run and run, and I just don't even know how they do it, because how would we feel today, like now, if we did that? It's pretty rough sometimes. And when you start to understand cellular decline from even just 50 years, this is the same woman 50 years apart. And I love that you can see the real aging. Whenever you see like AI aging, it's not accurate, but look at her, your eyes become smaller, your nose becomes bigger, your lips become thinner, right? All the wrinkles and the gray hair. Basically, as we age, it just rapidly declines. Your ability to repair and regenerate your healthy self actually declines. So what I love about LifeWave X39, this is the product that we're going to be talking about tonight, is that it actually helps to increase healthier, younger cells at a very rapid rate. What I also love about this product is it's patented. This means nobody on the planet has this product or anything even close to doing what this does. It's also proven. So here's one of the studies, but I thought it would be fun for you to see some of the others. Now, this is just excerpts from some of the other very important studies that have been done on this patch, and there's more studies that are being done. So what we love about this, though, is that it's very effective. And when people use it, they see results. So I want to tell you a little bit about how it works. And so if you understand phototherapy, it's like the sun. The sun hits your skin, and then your skin gets signaled to have your body create what's called endogenous vitamin D. That means it's not from a capsule, it's from your body. Now, you could assume that maybe taking high dose vitamin D is better for you, but you should really consider that God got it right. Vitamin D that your body produces on its own is always going to be far superior to vitamin D in a capsule. So it's the same thing with these, and we'll get into what this does for you, but basically it's using infrared light. So the infrared light with these patches is basically bouncing off the patch itself. So the patch is fully encased in medical grade plastic, and it's bouncing off of the crystal lattice that is inside the patch. And it is signaling your body, just like how the sun signals your body to produce endogenous vitamin D. The patch, X39 specifically, is signaling your body to produce endogenous GHKCU. So I want to help you understand what this peptide is. There's a lot of, chatter online right now about peptides, and there's basically 3 different types of peptides. One you would take as a capsule or something that you consume. Your body will break down that peptide before it even gets used. It's useless because your digestive system will actually destroy the peptide if you take it internally. A second way, which is a more popular way because it's more effective, is injecting peptides. So a lot of practitioners do inject peptides. However, those peptides are made in a lab. They're synthetic. Your body won't recognize it. Possibly at some level, you'll get some results, but not anything astounding, and you have to keep getting injections. When your own body creates a peptide, This one specifically, by the way, GHKCU, it's a combination of glycine, histidine, and lysine. Those are all amino acids bound to copper. Now, GHKCU is the most important peptide when it comes to aging and age reversal. Okay, so this is a key important thing. And I want you to hear me when I say this product, the X39, helps your body produce endogenous GHKCU. So again, not a supplement, not an injection, but your body creates it. So this means it's 100% bioavailable. Okay, so this is where it gets really exciting. So I'm going to share just a couple keys to success if you're using these patches. One is I want you to drink more water. I want you to balance your electrolytes. Namely, you need more potassium. You also need to get copper in your diet. You know, we did talk a little bit about these three elements. So glycine, histidine, and lysine. 94% of you, 96% of you, somewhere around there have these in there. I mean, you'll get them in your food. Some of you who are vegan or vegetarian may need to get an amino acid complex that has glycine and lysine in it. The copper is a little bit different because copper, you can get it in your foods, but if you looked at this list and said, I don't eat any of those foods, then you might just need to wear like a copper bracelet or, use a nano copper, like a colloidal copper supplement. It's very easy to do. And also check if you're taking too much zinc. So the normal zinc amount that you should be taking daily, if you are taking it, which I don't believe that you should be taking a zinc supplement, but some of you are because you've heard a lot of benefits about hair and like COVID and stuff like that. So you're taking zinc too high. So
you know what's in your cheap protein powder? Well, here to tell us is all-natural fitness athlete Paul Sklar.
All right, let's see what we've got.
11
Sorry, guys.
zinc is all you need or less because you should be getting it in your diet. But some of you are taking far more than that. And zinc in higher doses will actually block the absorption of copper. So this is a very important key here that you absolutely want to make sure that you're not blocking copper absorption, that you're getting enough. It's really hard to get copper toxicity. You need very small amounts. So don't go and get some synthetic supplement. Just get it in your diet, but also possibly, like I said, use a nano colloidal copper or, copper drinking device, like mugs or something, or you can get some copper jewelry. I wear like copper knee braces and things like that when I snowboard. Okay, so let's go about how to use this. There's just really two main spots that you should be placing it. Other people will tell you can place it anywhere, and it does. It works anywhere on the body. However, because you have two nerve bundles here, one 2 finger widths below your navel and one right on the back of your neck, just at your shoulder line, that's the best spot. Those two are the best spots. So I usually encourage people to try to stick with those spots. I also want you to download the free health tracker on patchedu.com because I want you to really track your success in this and know that, this is going to help you in a lot of areas, but it's going to start with the most critical things first. You may not realize that you have some critical issue going on inside your body, and your whole goal for using this is maybe you want happier skin or better moods, right? You have this idea of what you want, but just know that sometimes it goes to work on something internal. So what we really want from you is a 12 to 6 month commitment. And this is key. The reason for this is because there are so many different things that could be happening and each of us are different. So I'd like to go over some of the potential benefits. Strength is one of them. And no, I'm not promising that you're going to look like this guy, but I was like, dang, this guy has a beautiful body, right? I don't know. That's probably totally photoshopped. But, strength, a lot of us want strength. And so let's go to something maybe that's more realistic. A lot of you play pickleball, okay? And we want stamina. We want strength and stamina when you're trying to do something fun and active. Even today, like, you're going hiking with some friends. You want better mobility, and this is going to help with that. What about cognition? I know I have all these beautiful men in here, but what if you want better cognition so that you can get your work done and that you can be more active in society? What if you need more energy and you just want to go do more fun things as you get older? What about your moods? Ladies, as we age, this is a rough one. And so part of this is helping to balance our brains and help our moods. And also, ladies, what about our appearance? This is really a very helpful tool to build back that collagen, build back that supple skin cells. So generally what's happening here is it's giving you younger, healthier cells, which is going to translate into a younger, healthier you. So my encouragement to all of you is to please go at the about 4 to 6 month mark to your normal checkups. Every 120 days is about right for if you're really trying to track something, but really every 6 months is fine. So if you use this product for 6 months and you could feel that it was working because you had a couple things happen that you could notice, that's a time to then go in to get checkup at about 6 months. It's really exciting to see those because numbers don't lie. And the testimonies that we have are incredible. There's so many different testimonies. You can see them all over the place, but it's just, they just don't lie. I mean, I have had an astigmatism reverse. You can't fake that, right? There's no placebo effect there to have an astigmatism completely reverse. Again, I can't say that that would happen for you, but everyone's different. And I love the diversity of what happens here. We have different starter kits. These are just starter kits. This is what you would buy to get into the company, becoming a member or a brand partner. These are great kits to get started at. You can start as a preferred customer. However, you won't have access to our maintenance kits. Maintenance kits, dollar for dollar, are actually the best value in all of LifeWave. So we want you to have access to those. But again, you're welcome to join any way that you want. The premium is going to give you the very best deal. You're going to get the best dollar for dollar amount and be able to customize that kit. Advanced is where a lot of people just come in because they want to just start kind of in the middle range. And then core would be if you just wanted to get your toes wet, but each of these you could upgrade to, and that's not a problem. You can actually learn more on patchedu.com. There's a lot of information on that site. You can't buy the patches there. It is just a spot for you to go ahead and learn about these patches and then go back to the person who shared this video with you, who shared this site with you, to help you know how to get the very best deal with LifeWave. And always, always start with X39. All right, everyone, take care and be blessed.
Thank you, Jody. Okay, we're going to stop actually sharing now, or recording. And actually, if there's anybody who has questions,